The crown that marks you as sovereign is not merely a symbol of inherited power, but a crucible demanding you confront the moral compromises beneath dynastic legitimacy. And true queenship requires not wielding authority through fear or divine right, but integrating the weight of ancestral trauma until rule becomes an act of radical accountability rather than performative dominion. In Dark Queen, Jeff Wheeler transforms the epic fantasy trope into profound exploration of feminine sovereignty and intergenerational healing, proving liberation isn't found in seizing the throne, it's forged in honoring the woman beneath the title when every courtly expectation demands she remain vessel. This psychologically precise narrative makes every royal decree feel like both burden and benediction, where consent to lead is negotiated through ethical clarity rather than assumed birthright, and peace means protecting your humanity when the realm demands you sacrifice it for stability. From candlelight and cold stone narration, listeners enter worlds where governance is syntax and presence is the only unbreakable vow, perfect for fans of emotionally intelligent epic fantasy where female complexity defies patriarchal expectations. When newly crowned Queen Alara Vance faces rebellion from factions questioning her legitimacy, she expects political warfare, not to discover the uprising mirrors the exact suppression she's endured beneath years of performative obedience. And disgraced knight Julian Thorne's quiet refusal to enforce hierarchy creates space for connection defying royal protocol. Navigating court intrigue and buried attractions, Alara realizes this reign isn't about consolidation but recalibration, with Wheeler avoiding reducing Alara to tragic monarch or Julian to loyal swordsman, instead crafting radical reciprocity within constraint, where trust is earned through honoring boundaries even as danger blurs them. An audiobook narration amplifies this alchemy by capturing Alara's disciplined composure fracturing into clarity and Julian's guarded intensity revealing warmth beneath vigilance, making listeners feel seismic shifts of souls learning some crowns can only be worn when you stop letting lineage define their validity. What elevates this beyond typical epic fare is portraying regal intimacy as somatic practice rather than romanticized pageantry, with Alara confronting how monarchical culture equated worth with utility, while Julian creates sanctuary where her contradictions exist without diminishment, their relationship evolving through shared silences during midnight councils bypassing performance, rhythms protecting both political integrity and psychological safety, and mutual defense against advisors mistaking tenderness for weakness, supported by courtiers encoding suppressed grief, elders carrying ancestral weight, and the castle itself absorbing centuries of unspoken bargains, reinforcing that in extraction-based systems, tenderness toward process is technique, and presence is sustainable resource, with diplomatic decisions mirroring emotional attunement and loyalty oaths becoming metaphors for earned trust. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive descent into sacred sovereignty, with narrators embodying Alara and Julian with remarkable distinction, sound design anchoring existential stakes through distant trumpets, rain against stained glass, and hushed breaths syncing with moments of clarity, pacing mirroring regal cadence from deliberate reflection to surging awakenings, ultimately redefining epic fantasy by centering female epistemology within monarchical frameworks and affirming that sometimes the most powerful act is choosing to rule as human, honoring whole self even in landscapes shaped by legacy.